This is the safest shelter I have ever seen built within the roots of a century-old tree. Not only does the interior provide ample space for one person, but its exterior seamlessly blends into the natural surroundings. Even if a wild boar were to charge at full force, the structure would remain unshaken. In the stillness of the winter forest, nature-loving Aqiang set out once again with his trusty shovel. After some time, he discovered a massive, ancient tree with a spacious hollow at its base. His inner builder immediately sparked to life, and he decided to transform it into a fortified shelter against wild beasts. Carving out the interior. The first step was expanding the entrance. The moist, soft soil made digging easy, but the dense, intertwining roots beneath the surface proved to be a challenge. With perseverance, Aqiang cleared the entrance enough to squeeze inside. Once inside, he began removing the decayed wood, which had weakened over time and posed a risk if left untouched. Digging further into the tree's hollow, he expanded the space for a more comfortable living environment. Building the sleeping area. From his backpack, Aqiang retrieved his tools and ventured into the deep forest to gather quality logs. Back at the shelter, he carefully placed 2 long logs parallel to form the bed frame. Lining them with evenly sized wooden slats, he crafted a sturdy single bed for restful sleep. Any large gaps in the tree trunk were sealed with thick logs to prevent potential threats from sneaking in. From the outside, the structure looked incredibly solid. Securing the entrance. For added protection, Aqiang reinforced the entrance with a wooden gate. He carefully arranged 2 logs at the doorway, hammering and splicing them into a secure frame. To craft the actual door, he split a log into 3 parts, selecting the flattest plank for the central panel. He then fastened it to the door frame with nails, adding a diagonal beam for extra reinforcement. While love triangles may be unstable, the triangular structure itself is one of the strongest designs. After trimming the excess wood, the gate fit perfectly into place. To block out the cold, Aqiang used the leftover wood to seal any remaining gaps around the entrance. Now, no chilling winter breeze could sneak into his sanctuary. Staying warm in the wild. Knowing how harsh winter nights could be, Aqiang had prepared a portable stove. He positioned it in a designated spot, connecting a smoke exhaust pipe to ensure proper ventilation. After assembling the stove, he sealed the surrounding gaps with clay, effectively insulating the shelter while preventing rainwater from seeping in. With everything in place, his transformed shelter was finally complete. A cozy night in the wild. After a long day's work, Aqiang gathered some dry branches and swiftly lit the stove. As smoke curled into the cold air, the shelter filled with a comforting warmth. He then began preparing dinner. Luckily, he had stocked up on ingredients beforehand. Though his cooking skills were modest, the meal was both nutritious and satisfying. Feeling energized, he took off his shirt and stepped outside to collect more firewood. But just as he did, he heard an unusual sound, the melodious singing of a wild boar. Without hesitation, he abandoned his firewood mission and sprinted back to the safety of his shelter. In a dramatic display of acrobatics, he leaped inside and secured the gate. Outside, the wild boar launched its mighty charge, but the fortress held firm. Inside, Aqiang was unfazed, warm, full, and ready to drift off into dreams of the moon goddess Cheng'a, undisturbed by the chaos outside.